Value of assets, beginning of the year was $6,057,000, ends the year at $6,114,000. You would notice that positive was because of the levy, the replacement tax, and the salary deductions, and the investment was minus $360,371. That came on the backside. You could see that the recommended levy for the year was $582,218, which we've already submitted the levy for. And with this one, we're same as police, that things are, at least investment wise, looking better than that last year was just not a good year for any investments.
So that weighted return of 5.9% that they show there, that's actually the increase, right? Since the consolidation of these, I used to be on the fireman's pension, and the way I understood at the time that consolidation was going to, that the funds would generate an investment return above what it had been when we had it separate. So it looks like that's
that. Yeah, that's definitely the hope for that. When pulling a larger pool of money, when the fund was just Pontiac Fire, because of its size, they were restricted in the types of investments that could be made. And with the larger pool statewide, they had a little more freedom. And so, while they still didn't, the actuarial assumed investment return was 7.125. That hasn't been reached. But again, last year was not a very good year for that. So
yeah, I think they also relaxed it made it possible to have a little more risky investments, less fixed.
Right.
Okay. Any other questions to? Our percentage is still, for approximate areas, is a little better than most of the state, but
That's correct.
we're still holding back, so.
Yes.
Right. Third quarter financials, as long as you're on a roll.
Sure. You should have in front of you, and again, I'm going to start off by apologizing. It looks like the first few pages were, you have to flip and they're straight up and down. Maybe the whole thing is that way. Yeah, so this one,
Okay.
it works if you go up and down rather than this one.
Yeah, that's all right. I prefer that.
The main things to note on the third quarter financials, in looking at administration on the first page, you'll see a higher December. That was with Mr. Wilson departing and his benefits. Down below, you see the negative, the 61,514 in the building and sidewalk maintenance. That is simply just a entry error. We put some capital improvement sidewalk work in the wrong fund, and so it had to be moved. And let's see, police department, and actually all the departments, the numbers are going to be a little high in December. Fuel, and part of the reason why you see the street department was 45,808 in December. We had been charging, we had again an entry issue. All of the fuel costs had been going straight to the street department. We have a formula in the budget that splits it into the departments, and so December we made that split, so there was a big adjustment there, so that made everything look different. A couple notes on the ambulance service. The revenues have been up, and due to the increased call volume and transfers. What is not accounted for, because you notice there's some negative numbers, meaning that its revenues outweighed its expenses. What isn't accounted for is the GEMT payment that we have to still make to the state. That's $70,000 for this year, and then in addition, there's still transfers for the pensions, for the fire pensions and the IMRF. as well. So that will come out to around 230,000. It's still expected to be a shortfall of about 230,000, which is still a good deal less than what initially we had predicted. So, okay. And if anyone has any other questions throughout.
I know Chris isn't here, but you mentioned the fuel thing. How's the new fuel system going?
Oh, it's actually it's working very well, and what I think is going to be nice about that is that I decided to let this go for this year, but there's a report that it'll show you where all the fuel's going, and it's very easy to track, and it'll be very easy to accurately budget on where fuel's coming from and going to. Right now, we budgeted that specific formula, so it'd be smart to stay that way for this year, but yeah. And then I'd like to get a full year under our belt to really get a good look at it.
Yep.
So, but I'm impressed with it. It's easy to work, so.
Good.
Yeah. And I don't think we've had any malfunctions with it, so.
And no
Be quiet.
major,
Now it will.
yeah,
Yeah.
of course. All righty, thanks. Health insurance renewal.
And we received our health insurance package. The breakdown was an increase of 1.98%. Last year was an increase of 7.24%. You can see the monthly current costs, the increase there. Delta Dental was a 3.5 or 3.6% increase, and the vision plan stayed the same. And because we use iMed, we were able to get 0.5% off of the Blue Cross premium, which is what made the increase down to 1.98%. So that really is the only big question about the policy right now is the I plan. We have a couple of places in town that don't take iMed, but we also have a couple that don't take VSP. So it's kind of a toss-up on which one to go, and we've chosen iMed because of that 0.5% we get. So that makes a pretty big difference. So overall, 1.98% is very good this year. So I would recommend renewal of our health care plan.
And 1.9% is definitely one of the better numbers we'll hear a while. So we need a motion.
So move.
Motion by John, seconded by Scott Cransford. Roll call, please.
Giovannini,
Yes.
Eckhoff.
Yes.
Tallis.
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Hauser.
Yes.
Bradshaw.
Yes.
Cranford.
Yes.
Howard.
Yes.
Willie.
Yes.
Barr.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Let's get Jake into action here on a trailer purchase.
Good evening, council, fellow department heads. Back in April 2023, I came to you to seek permission to replace our existing Bobcat skid steer. That was a mid-90s model and had been through the street department, through the maintenance department with Milton, and we inherited it and pretty much got it through its useful life. So we replaced that skid steer unit this spring. And a component of that skid steer unit was accommodating trailer. We use the skid steer at all our pump stations to regrade the driveways, to add stone as needed, soil, whole bunch of things that we'll do remotely. The pump station across the river, if we're clearing some timber, so we haul it around. Plus, if it needs a repair, Bobcat out of Bloomington is the dealer that performs repairs. So I knew we wouldn't be needing the trailer right away, so I wanted to kind of wait and do that one towards the end of the fiscal budget. So I figured now is a better time than any to replace the existing trailer. And the reason we need to replace it is the existing trailer, not only is it worn out like the Bobcat is, but it also will not handle the weight of the new skid loader. This new skid loader is heavier, and it exceeds the weight capacity of the existing old Bobcat trailer. So I got a couple quotations on the types of trailer that we need to fit that unit. Kate's Trailer Sales out of Arthur, Illinois came in at the lowest price of $8,000 for the replacement trailer. And again, this was included in the budget item for the skid steer replacement as a whole. I just waited to replace the trailer. So with your permission, I'd like to move forward and make that purchase through Kate's Trailer Sales for $8,000.
I'd make a motion to approve. I'll second.
Looks like everybody's in favor. Motion by Mike, seconded by Bill Callis. Roll call, please.
Eckhoff?
Yes.
Callis?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Hauser?
Yes.
Bradshaw?
Yes.
Cranford?
Yes.
Howard?
Yes.
Willie?
Yes.
Barr?
Yes.
Giovanini?
Yes.
And on the same subject, Jake?
And to follow up, I would like to list our old skid steer trailer on the GovDeals surplus auction website for disposal, with your permission.
I'll make a motion to.
Can I,
Sorry.
before, so, just in case it doesn't go on GovDeals, I would just ask that he be authorized to dispose of it in all the manners that we typically prescribe. GovDeals, donation, or junking if that was required. But it should go, it should sell.
All right.
I'll second.
Motion by Jamie, seconded by Scott. Roll call, please.
Callis?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Hauser?
Yes.
Bradshaw?
Yes.
Cranford?
Yes.
Howard?
Yes.
Willie?
Yes.
Barr?
Yes.
Giovanini?
Yes.
Eckhoff?
Yes.
Thank you, council.
Thank you. Thanks, Jake. Moving on, it says mayor's comments on here. I have a few. I'm still getting a lot of calls on the work done by the fiber optics people and the cleanup issues. I don't know if anybody else has been passing those along, but it's annoying if nothing else. And half of them are unfounded, but there's half that are. So if you get any calls, please forward them up to City Hall so we can get together with these folks and get the cleanups done. Also, as we're preparing for our program for street repairs for this next year, it'd be beneficial if any of the council has certain areas or certain streets that they feel need to be prioritized, to pass that along to Brian and or Chris or both, so they can work into it. Mike has come up with a few, and there's been one other that had put a street in. The one that seems to be favored is Hazel, between Howard and Water. A lot of people keep bringing that one up. So, but as we're moving on to further and further investigations and priorities, we need to get as much information in as we can. I did have about a half-hour congratulatory thing for Gary Baxter and Greg Knowles, but they're not here, so we will skip that. But they have finished up the first 3 months on the job, 100-day type thing, and both of them are doing great work for us, so we should acknowledge that. Another issue that brought up to me is that this year is the 40th anniversary of Grandview USA, which I happened to see a couple weeks ago again. So, you know, I don't know if we're planning anything special, but I'm passing it on to enrichment team to maybe do something here this summer to commemorate the event. You know, we don't get very many movies made here, so we should keep it in our mind. I think Jim's going to talk about some committee meetings. So, other than that, I'll move on to city council comments.
Question.
Yeah, John?
I've had a couple calls about what's the status of the ADA exit at the Eagle Theater? What's going on? Is anything going on?
Yes.
Yes.
So I can tell you, we've been talking about that. We're ready to start moving forward with it. We had a sewer issue there, so we've been investigating on whether that is the right time as we start that project to also determine where the issue is with the sewer, because it backed up before the last Vermillion Players show. And whether that's while we're doing that project, if we have to keep digging to go down to the sewer and take a look at that. But we're ready to move forward on that. And talking with Chris, we could probably even start that before the next budget year, but it may roll, would obviously roll the project into the next year as well. So we're ready.
Okay.
Waiting for the weather to break.
What are the two houses that we demoed that are noted here on the?
That was the Main Street house, the Heenan house,
Oh,
and then
okay.
the Timber Street house.
Okay. And something you said.
Yeah, Bill.
Something else.
The stop and go light at the intersection of 23 and Holt's at 55. It's been out for a couple of weeks. What's the progress on that?
At
Probably not that
66
big.
in Custer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So there's a car that took out the big,
Yeah.
yeah, and Kelly Electric has been working on, they got to rewire that whole thing, so it's been taking him some time.
Something that I had come up today, I got a contact about the fiber optic going on in my neighborhood. And it wasn't a complaint, but it was more of a, why weren't we notified? And I just said, well, it's been in all the newsletters for the last 6 or 8 months. There's been quite a bit of stuff. And I went to the city's website to retrieve, we don't, maybe we should catalog those newsletters online, because I couldn't find anything. I could find, there's nothing. I searched for old news, and because I wanted to show the people
Yeah.
what had come out about it. And so just a suggestion, I called in to talk to Hannah, but she was gone today at a meeting when I called, and you know, it just might be helpful if people had another resource. I even dug through my own emails, but because I never get rid of anything, I couldn't find anything there either. So just an idea. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not.
And this company, this is Pavlov this time that's doing it, right? It's not the same group that went through.
They're still
Spring.
both in town.
Yeah,
they
Pavlov
both are.
in our
CCG's,
subdivision
it's,
right now.
Pavlov is under the name CCG here, and they're actively working. Chris said he hadn't seen Metro in a little while, so they might just be waiting for the weather to break for them as well. But it is, right now, the working one is a CCG.
But they're both still,
But they,
Yeah, during the spring,
Progress.
when last season, there weren't very many complaints at all that I knew of. It just seems that now, maybe it's because of the time of year that they're doing it, they're making a little more rutted yards and things. And I just thought it was the second group that was coming through, and, you know, different work crew, different,
could be, like I said, I've gone out to 4 of the complaints that I got. 2 of them, I couldn't see the reason for the complaint.
yeah.
And 2 of them, I got hold of Chris, and he got together with the crews, and within a couple days, they were cleaned up, so, you
Yeah.
know.
No, when they went through my neighborhood, it was, you know, 3-4 hours, so they were in and gone, you know, and
Yeah.
clean, nice, you know.
yeah, and they haven't been perfect by any means, but they have been at least responsive to when
Yeah.
we address an issue with them, such as the boxes that were getting broken. They've gone through and replaced all of those that get run over with concrete, so.
Yeah, but the increase in technology, the new process, this such a benefit to the city that, you know,
Yeah, that one day we'll be looking back that all the grass and everything will have regrown over, and we'll have fiber options in town, so.
All right.
Is there an update on the substation west of town?
Yes, the latest I have on the substation is, I'm expecting Farnsworth to send us over a contract to move forward. They've done some preliminary plans of the building, and right now that's just that, it's preliminary. So once we get the contract and get some ideas on numbers, we can start refining everything, and prepare for the build, or the bid.
As long as you're on a roll.
Okay.
City administrator.
Yeah, so we do have a need for the Public Properties and Utilities Committee to discuss one of our Illinois American Water agreements. If anyone has any preferences, I was thinking a couple options next week, maybe. There is a zoning board, so maybe after the zoning board at 5:30, or if we wanted to do a Tuesday.
What day is zoning?
Yeah, 26th,
You're on that one too.
Monday the 26th, or Tuesday the 27th. I can tell you that committee is Barr's the chair, Bradshaw, Cranford, Giovannini, and Callis.
Monday or Tuesday is good for me.
What's that?
Monday or Tuesday is good for me.
What date was that, 26th?
Yeah, 26 or 27?
I can't do the 26th until 6 PM, but I
Okay.
can do the 27th.
Okay,
What time would it be on the 27th?
You're on.
5:30?
I see that.
I can do that.
I'm gonna respond.
I can do that.
It should be a pretty short meeting.
Jim?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna be out of town the month of March, okay?
Okay. All right, so Tuesday, the 27th at 5:30? Okay.
They're gonna cover it for you?
Yep, that's gonna work for me. We do have a need for executive session.
Yes. We do have an executive session that we need to do. One other comment I should make before we go to public comments is Jim has been working on that dreaded annual budget thing. And,
That's what that
Would-
cake box is.
yeah, we will be continuing that, so there'll be a committee of the whole meeting coming up in the next couple weeks.
Yes.
And probably a separate finance meeting too, so, but we'll work those through as the budget process proceeds. Public comments. We have some guests in the audience. Anyone would like to make a comment?
It's
Well-
nice to see a young man with a tie.
He's a scout.
Very good. Yeah. Hearing none, we do have need for executive session, so we'll need a motion to adjourn to executive session. Motion by John Willie, seconded by Jason. Roll call, please.
Lee?
Yes.
Cowser?
Yes.
Bradshaw?
Yes.
Cranford?
Yes.
Howard?
Yes.
Willie?
Yes.
Barr?
Yes.
Giovannini?
Yes.
Eckhoff?
Yes.
Callis?
Yes.
Thank you. We will adjourn and go to executive session in about 3 minutes. Thank you.
Good.